Hey, look, it's breaking the mold.
Oh shit!
It
Yeah,
is.
This is the wrong night. Catch you guys next one.
So what's up, people?
What's up?
Haven't
talk
seen a lot
first?
of
You
these
talk
faces
first.
in a while, man. Unless I'm watching one of you guys on your podcast, I don't really see you guys anymore. Not since TF Con, man. I haven't seen a lot of you.
Doesn't that feel like forever ago already? It sucks.
Does.
And it was what, like not like a month and a week ago, maybe at most.
Yeah, almost 6 weeks about.
Yeah.
My sleep schedule's still off from that
Really?
weekend. Yeah, never recovered. It's gotten to
Like-
bad habits.
The life of a bachelor, that'll fucking do it. That's why.
What was that bar that we were hanging out at a lot of, Brian? What's it called?
Lighters.
Lighters? Was it Sliders?
Yeah.
That's
Was
what
it?
Sliders, that was what Sliders would do to you. Serving drinks until 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah, and then I went on vacation a couple times. Stayed at Chan and JD's. That'll mess up your sleep schedule. Drive until hours of the night to Maine. Talking till all hours of the night with realm people. It's crazy. It's wild. All right, so Jose's not here on assignment. I guess we should just get started here. Welcome to your Tuesday Night Delight. It's Breaking the Mold, episode 177. And I am Brian Brink, and with me tonight is Gary. What's up, Gary?
Hey, how's everybody doing? It's good to see you guys.
All right. And we have Energon Addict.
Yo.
We have Big Dom.
What's going on, people?
And a guest here, Jeremiah.
Look at this youngin. Look at him.
I'm delighted to be here. Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Such a nice, fresh face. Look at that.
Don't worry, we'll get the energy up. We're just all like, just jumped in like 5 minutes ago, guys. So just give it
Yeah,
a second.
sorry, I was
No, we
watching
need the
Lost
energy
in
up?
Space.
Is that what you guys want? Okay, I can bring the energy up. This is so fucking exciting because this is like in the wrestling biz, they call it first touch. But with Gary and Dave down there, I don't know that I've ever bullshitted with you guys in any capacity, like face to face. This is fucking
That's
awesome.
true. That could be like the
That
same.
is true. Yeah. Yeah. This
Yeah.
might be the
Whereas
first-
I talk to Jeremy every week, so I'm like, ah, it's just another.
Yeah.
I've caught Jeremy on some hangouts. Me and him have battled before.
Well, Jeremy, that's why I have you here, man. I needed a little taste of the JB, you know?
I came in with pants, but they don't have to stay on, sir.
Listen, a lot of us don't wear pants on this show already, so it works out. So
What are those?
Oh boy.
Here we go. I missed the bus ride last night, so let's see how fast this can go off the rails.
All right, well, hey, let's just get the quick discussion out of the way real quick.
Just.
Do it.
There was a HasLab that occurred yesterday, that ended yesterday. There's another one ending today. The one yesterday went all the way up to the last second and lost by 467,
Damn you people.
if you believe the numbers. Yeah.
Who are you, Choice and Prime?
And,
What
yep.
more?
So, I mean, Jeremy, we were talking right before. You're like, I'm surprised BBTS couldn't come in and save the day. And it's like, well, BBTS couldn't order any because it didn't technically exist yet. So that you gotta wait for it to fund, And what do you call it? I was just happening to look at the numbers, and it didn't dawn on me to mention anything in my post that I put up last night and updated this morning. But when they announced the stretch goals that no one liked, and so between that and the announcement of the Rancor Keeper, so let's see, 5139 minus 4753.
400.
That's what, 386? Did
Yeah.
I count that right?
Just under 400.
Yeah, but dude, it just barely missed it by 400. Like, hey, what if it was the exact number? like of the backers that they lost in between that time, is that it was actually what they missed by. That would just been too perfect. But
You
still,
think they'd have enough employees just to be like,
Yeah.
mass email, everybody, buy
Start
one.
ordering.
Well, so
it's funny.
just like out of curiosity, who have you? I know Brian, you mentioned earlier that you went in last night, like at the last little bit.
Oh, I did too.
Do you
Oh,
do
yeah.
too, Dom?
I did it with
Gary, let me get
15
this
minutes
ollie
left,
off your face.
Yeah.
I can move my hand a little bit. There you go.
Yeah,
What kind of party is this, guys?
I joined the party and I was watching every 5 minutes, refreshing just to see where it was going. But
Jeremy, do you do Black Series? Like, were you in for that or no?
No, I'm. It was cool it existed, but I don't have a place for it.
I mean, I was watching the numbers last night, of course, as you remember, but it's like I stayed up late. I was watching some live streams. People were doing it and following it. Like, I think the Foosh did one, and then this other guy, Jay. I don't know. Interesting channel. I mean, I haven't looked at all his content yet, but the guy was enjoyable to listen to. But I'm looking at it. I'm like, holy shit, this thing might make it. You know what? Like, I'm gonna go ahead and put an order in for it, because if it makes it by the skin of its teeth, like that's a thing. Like that it'll be like the second least made HasLab project ever, right? And I was like, cool. I mean, that means like I own something that, I mean, there's 9,000 of them. It could be considered rather rare, you know.
But as it stands,
nobody wanted.
Yeah, but
it's in the same league as the cookie monster.
Yeah. Chuck says that any HasLab with the word monster in the title is doomed.
First, I thought that was good. That was
You know, Jeremy, what's funny is you said why didn't they just get all the employees to go get one? So
Christmas bonus?
After it funded, right? After it funded, you know, within the next half hour, you'll see the numbers creep up a little bit. This is what I've seen because I'll watch them for like a good hour after they end.
If you don't catch the data, then when are you going to get it?
Sleep deprived, but it's funny. You'll see it rise because you know people have it in their cart, but they haven't finished their checkout yet. You know, some people are fumbling around looking for their wallets in a drunken stupor, like I can't believe I'm going to buy this, you know, kind of stuff. And it takes a while. So like after an hour, everything kind of calms down. But this is the first one that we watched, like go all the way to the wire and then not fund. So all of a sudden you start refreshing it and the numbers go from 8,500 and they start dropping by thousands, by hundreds, and it's basically they're automatically canceling all the orders. Because I went in because I bought it, right? And I saw my order update. I never got the email for cancellation. I wonder if I'm still getting one. No. But my order online was canceled, but it went all the way down to like 823 or something like that, 833. And then it just stopped, and then they wiped the link off the page. But 833, Jeremy, you know what? Maybe they did get every Hasbro employee working on those brands to buy one.
So it's even more rare. There's only
it's very
900 of them out there. They made
I
the
don't
mold,
know.
so why
Let
not?
the conspiracies fly.
I didn't cancel my order. I'm hoping it still delivers.
Yeah, if you go look at your order, you'll go see it should
it's
say
canceled.
But that was the other thing too, right? I kind of wanted to, so like I either get it or I don't get it, but I wanted to just be able to have visibility into what happens if you back a campaign and watch it not fund. Like what happens? Like I want to see what happens. I check look, I see what the order says. This is all very good information to have. When people come at you asking all these questions all the time, you can actually kind of be like, oh, well, I've seen it, I've experienced it, and here's exactly what happens when this scenario occurs, and people consider you an expert and keep tapping you on the shoulder to make graphs. That's it. Anybody else want to talk about Rancor? Anybody sad that it didn't fund?
I'm sad.
Yeah.
It's like the damn Sky Striker's funding. The Sky Striker funded. It's like
good segue, Dom. Sky Striker's funding.
Yeah, that's like we never got a Rancor, especially in Black Series. So it's like, oh god.
Oh.
So.
But
Was there
the
never a
thing is
Rancor for the original line?
There was for the 3-inch.
'Cause I thought I remembered like a
there was an
cousin or somebody
exclusive.
having one.
Yeah, there was an exclusive I think the Toys R Us had like a Black Series like 3 3/4 like exclusive set that they had with the Rancor pit and a couple.
Yeah,
of
there's
Java.
been an original Power of the Force from like 98. It's like a smaller one, kind of like and then they did a larger mold, which was new, that they released like 3 or 4 times. One was that Toys R Us, one was that painted purple from the video game.
Correct,
in
yeah.
like 2007, 2008. It had like
Okay, I
a
remember
bunch of
seeing that.
stripes and came with like these, like this like native figure for it. And then they repainted that thing like twice. They did it another again, I think, as Target, and then at Toys R Us with the Jabba as a Black Series box. Yeah.
I mean, you're all familiar with Dan Larson from Toy Galaxy, right?
Mhm.
He's a big fan of the Sky Striker, like in general. Like he has love for the F-14 Tomcat, something like with I think his dad worked on him or something like that. He was in that life.
Military. Yeah, he was like
And
overseas.
I've watched some live streams of him, and I tell you, that guy, that's a good pitch man right there. I mean, Gary, you may think I have skills at a
I saw him.
toy show selling stuff off my table, but that guy can sell some stuff.
I saw him
man.
dressed up for the show where he had like the flight gear uniform and the cap and the glasses and everything. It was,
I mean, he had an answer to like everybody's detraction on the campaign. He's like, "Look, you don't understand." I was like, "Wow, oh my goodness."
but he,
I don't know, Dan. If he's live streaming later, and I listen to him, I might have to go in and get one.
he pointed out a really good point when they added the Cobra, like the Trooper set, right? The Cobra Commander with like the logo that was kind of like a print from the 80s, which I had read about a long time ago. I thought that was pretty clever, how they had it like, oh, we've hijacked like the funding piece. Again, comes back to the presentation skills that they did for that versus the other platforms, I'd say. But, now you get a jet and you have like 3 bad guys and not like the actual flight crew to go with it.
And, yeah, but you also have incentive to buy a second one, right?
Yeah.
Well,
set of stickers.
The stickers.
Imagine if they painted it black or something. Like how, dude? They just mold it in black
Well, they
plastic.
will.
That's what they should have did.
They always do. Yeah.
I just love the post from HasLab, like just thinking, oh, it didn't fund, it's your fault, you don't love this shit more than you think you do, and I think they just like I can see the blame on either side, but I really think they just did a horrible job and didn't really come at it with those stretch options, and obviously none of those stretch goals were going to be achieved if it did go past 8,000 last night, because those numbers were ridiculous in regards to the stretch goals.
I mean, I know people can say that like the big company doesn't really care and they have other platforms, but I think that they do care, because anyone who knows something, when you're selling any product, when you rely on your best sellers that are pretty consistent, right? They're not like you can just rely on that to sort of like, I don't say make your quota, but yeah, it's really about for what your overall volume is going to consist of. When you lose that, that does hurt. You do feel it that way. And they probably thought that was like an easy, several $1 million, right? When it was all said and done, that they think, oh, it's a Star Wars thing. We can't really miss this. It's pretty safe. That's going to hurt somewhere. I mean, let's face it. I mean, it's still a lot of money. That
The Marvel Legend team is probably laughing at Star Wars, going like, you can't fucking fund your shit,
But why can't they figure out the formula? Like, like the Marvel movies have a formula, right? Comedic timing has a formula that goes with it. They have a pretty successful formula, and they just totally like blew it. They didn't use any of that knowledge that they learned.
I mean, I don't care what defense they have with rising costs with the pandemic and all that stuff. I mean, like, I know how real it is, but seriously, man, why are you setting these goals so damn high, right? I mean, that sail barge, it's not exactly just a big hollow shell, right? There's a lot to it, right? A Victory Saber, huge parts count type stuff. Like this Rancor, there's not a lot of parts going on in there, and I don't care about 900 paint apps, even though I think at one point someone did tell us it's like how many fractions of a penny per brush stroke. I can't remember. I think did Bobby do something like I can't remember. Someone did something like that. But it's like, dude, set it to 6,000 and let the campaign let the fans just carry it to the astronomical levels that the Sentinel and the Galactic and the Razor Crest went to.
Right.
Sentinel and Razor Crest were set to 6,000. They both funded in 2 days, and then it's like, okay, well, guess what? It's funded, so if you don't want to miss out, it's right there for you to friggin' buy it. Whereas you just wait to the end, you're gonna have this kind of trouble.
Dom, I know you did. Did any of you guys do that Spawn Kickstarter like a year and a half ago when Todd was coming back on the scene, right?
With the three different ones, variations of the same figure.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
So he had funding so high, like he had to keep thinking of stuff to add, right? He's like, oh, I'm going to throw this in, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that.
Yeah, I think his threshold was really low. Like I don't know how many he was asking for originally.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, and like the Razor Crest was like that. That funded so quick. They're like, oh, we have to add this job. We have to add this. You know, we're adding these.
What was
carbonite?
3,000, 4,000, 5,000? What was it?
I don't remember. I think it was more than that though.
So what do you think was off with the formula? The price, the number of backers required, or the fact that they had 3 going at one time, as many in the chat squad have pointed out?
I say the price, bro. The minute I saw the price and I saw that it was like a big hunk of plastic, I was like, it's not worth it.
Yeah.
So it's all
when I look at it, it looks cheaper than what it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like I feel like the rubber molding that they had around, that was like a cop out, not making that sculpt. You know, understanding that, you know, some articulation was going to be hindered due to they molded the whole middle piece of the monster. But like, I feel like, you know, with the price point at that, what was it, 350?
Mm-hmm.
You know, for a big action figure that's just going to be in an A stance, and you know, you're not going to have any dramatic pose other than holding a fucking character. You know what I'm saying? So
the cardboard background didn't do anything for you?
Yeah, the cardboard back. Come on, it's like I think the back, also the additions were weak. Like, you know, I think if they came strong with that, I think they would have had that nailed and maybe got the boost that they needed. But I think they, like, you know, the repackaged figures that we've gotten before is something that, you know, they were just saying, you know, like I said, like Brian said, I think it's, you know, they would, it's Star Wars, it's going to fucking fun, you know.
Well, that's just it, though. Is Star Wars on a downswing? Because those Ghostbuster folks are thirsty motherfuckers. Who would have ever guessed a $400 proton pack would have funded as quickly as it did, or have as many backers as it does?
What do you think the percentage of disappointed people there are going to be when they open up that box and they're like, "Where's the wand at?"
They should have like I think with the proton pack, you got the movie on like, you know, on the, like, you know, in the flux, and everybody's just watching the movie. You know, I want to get this proton pack. I think they should have done this while like the book of Boba was going out, and like showed the Rancor in that movie or one of the scenes, and like, you know, showed it really cool and shit, and maybe, you know, spike up some interest. You know what I'm saying? Like,
when I think of the two, right? When I think of the proton pack as opposed to the Rancor, like the proton pack, like you see that on somebody's wall or somebody's corner of their room, and it's like, oh, cool, he loves Ghostbusters. That's all he needs, you know, is that. When you throw a Rancor in the corner, they're like, you know, people that don't know, or, you know, that's part of Star Wars, is gonna be like, oh, look at that ugly thing. You know what I mean? So you know, it's all about that appeal too. Like that, I wasn't gonna fund it. I'm not a huge Ghostbusters fan, but I found that way more appealing than the Rancor, and I love Star Wars. So, as a piece, you know, as a collector piece, I should say.
Yeah, and like, yeah, the other, you know, like what E was saying, it's the other proton packs are definitely more expensive. Like Brian gave me a tutorial on what else is out there in the market and how much it is, and what HasLab is offering is definitely a discounted price on something that you can get and looks really good, and you know, it's you know, an advantage for consumers to jump on, to have something like that in their collection. But like I said, like I think the Rancor just, you know, I think they fell to their Star Wars is going to do great. You know, people love Star Wars, and you know, it's just going to fund. And I think, you the ads that they had to it, where they were trying to spark some more sales. They failed it. They failed it, and nobody wanted. Like I remember watching that live stream, and they were showing off the last 2 or 3. People were pissed. Like the whole chat was like, "Fuck you, you guys suck.
This shit is whack.
Yeah, this shit is whack. What the fuck are you doing?" Blah, blah.
Dom, what would be the right price you think that they would have got this thing funded at?
250, I think would be.
Yeah.
Like I think 275, 300 we'd be pushing it, but like 250 would be perfect.
What was the Star Saber?
Star Saber was 180.
Is that it? All right.
I might be wrong, actually.
I believe you.
Oh wait,
I'll
I got
check
the
the
graphs
invoice.
here.
Yeah,
I should
yeah.
just pull it up.
No, I think that's fair.
250 sounds right.
People are
250, I
accustomed
think.
to like what's like Scorponok or like the Arc bot, like regular retail. Those are like 160ish, I think, right?
Yeah.
In that
Yeah, it was-
price range
it
when
was
they're like
180.
first release, right around there. So,
Yep.
you know,
Yeah, it was
kind of
180.
have-
The Victory Saber. I mean, this HasLab, this Rancor, I think I would have been fine with maybe like 275, maybe even 300 if they threw in a Gamorrean guard that wasn't a stretch. It's like, actually, give me 2. Give me 1 on that crazy card and give me 1 loose as well. Like, I would have been half fine with that.
Yeah, because if they
Um,
threw like if it funded and they like I think they also are crazy with these like high numbers in regards. to
give me a breakaway Gamorrean guard, right? That it can be in
I was
pieces.
just
You know,
thinking
you can
that.
divide them in half.
Swear to
Like
God, I was thinking
something creative, right? That you're just
like that new Ninja Turtle figure that cuts in half.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
Dirtbag.
Yeah.
A slight adjustment, but something that's just creative. You know what I mean? Give me like, here's a updated slime formula that you can drip off of its teeth and stuff like that, like in the movie, right? And kind of get like the spit. Just something, there's nothing creative about any of that, whether you wanted like the other characters or not. It's just I don't know.
Yeah.
It
I think
was
that
not
bone
inspiring in the presentation.
That bone pack should have came with it. It shouldn't have been a stretch goal. Like that bone pack that they had should have been just a fucking came with it. This is what comes with your base figure.
The cardboard backing was
Yeah,
that was a real slap in the face.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, how dumb do you think we are? I mean, I bought that Ewok SDC whatever exclusive thing was. Look at the box on that.
Right.
I mean, there's no stretch goal needed for that crazy
yeah,
thing.
you're not doing anybody any favor putting that
Yeah.
cardboard backing. Like
Yeah, that was
people who
pretty
are
bad.
buying this already doing their own diodes and
Yeah, I mean,
they're-
like, independence. Look at the box that Krampus is coming in for the Mythic Legions, right?
The thing is
I mean,
so cool.
independent companies are able to do that. I mean, people on this page could do that. JD could whip that up by hand versus printing it and make it look better. That's silly.
Speaking of JD's joined us. He just snuck in here while we're going over our campaign situation. What's up,
I
dude?
hope they learn
Greetings.
from this. I really do hope they learn from this because it's like they can't just sit back and say, oh, it's Star Wars, let it fund. It's gonna fund. They need to really come at it. But it sounds from there like I just feel like I don't know whether it was just a PR push out that they did where that's the generic response that they have when the thing wasn't funded, but I really feel like that they should take some blame. They should definitely if I was the CEO of fucking Hasbro and looking at this and I just lost all this margin because these fucking guys didn't bring it, I would fucking yell at some people.
Dom, hey, you just opened up another avenue for conspiracy. So the Hasbro CEO recently passed, due to cancer. Rest in peace, sir. Maybe there's another guy like waiting. Have they announced a new CEO yet? I don't know. Who keeps up to date on this stuff, right?
I thought they announced 2 interims that were like sharing responsibility when they announced that he passed.
there's a power struggle between the 2 interims, and the one of them's like, all right, I'm gonna go talk to these HasLab guys. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna make the company like an extra $15 million right before the close, right, of the year, and I'm gonna be the hero, and they're gonna give me the big seat. And you know what? He's gonna do it. Guess what? He got 2 funded. 2 out of 3 ain't bad, but maybe he snowballed the Star Wars campaign. He's like, oh yeah, cardboard background. They'll eat that up. But secretly, he hates the people working on that brand. And now that they failed, it's given him a reason to give them the boot.
It's the
That's a
only
lot
thing
of
that makes
detail.
There's your
sense.
conspiracy theory. Put that in your hashtags. I want to see the tabloid YouTube channels do that one. Come on.
So you think?
And I'm not even drinking gin tonight.
One's responsible for Star Wars, one's responsible for GI Joe and Ghostbusters, and the other guy is like, I'm gonna fucking.
Well,
Star Wars guy.
They have specific people to market these things.
Oh yeah.
There's specific directors. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And they need to get the old dude back. I don't remember what his name was, but hold on, I can find it real quick.
I just feel like
Steve Evans, I think. He was the old guy. Bring him the fuck back. I don't know if he's dead or they fired him or something.
Wait, is he that? There was a guy, I was watching a live stream last night. I was watching a live stream, and there's some guy named Stevie something on Instagram. That name sounds familiar. Maybe it's him. He was doing all these posts, and he was actually, there's a guy named here, Steve Evans.
Yeah.
Hasbro's product design director for Marvel, previously Star Wars.
Yeah.
And
that's why Marvel's fucking
doing so good.
Through the roof.
Killing it.
Maybe.
He's over there.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I think this was just, let's throw something out. Let's just get the event. I think they half-assed it, and I hope they're learning from this mistake and looking inward rather than outward and just blaming us as fans.
Yeah, they're not. It's just money for them, dude. It's just money.
Yep.
That's all it is. And we're the fucking idiots that keep condoning all of this, like everything that they do. Like, we've said it a billion times. Like, express your opinion with your wallet. Let your wallet do the talking. Like, if you want it, sure. But I think with everything that happened, the way they did the stretch goals, and then at the last minute they're adding the Rancor Keeper, like, people let them know, we're not gonna, like, no, this is fucking stupid. They don't need to, like, I don't know. I left some big, like, book long post, like a comment on their post, and somebody else threw it up in the realm, and I copied and pasted it in there too. And like, they like, just this year they're worth $5.1 billion. They do not need to crowdfund anything. And why the fuck do they need $4.8 million to make a fucking Unicron? They don't need that much money. They don't need $2.5 million to make a Rancor. They don't need that money.
But to that point,
they can just fucking make it.
They're not going to just let that money sit there. So where do you think we'll see this on the comeback? Where are they going to put this Rancor? How is it going to come back around?
That's the question.
That's going to be the good question. Is like, what's
are they
going to
do that?
coming
Are
up
they
here?
going to do that? Are they going to provide another chance to get this Rancor in retail or an exclusive for convention?
In my opinion,
I don't think so.
HasLab,
I think you distance yourself from this particular project for quite a while.
Yeah.
The whole HasLab project, they went about this all wrong. This should be the avenue, because they know they can make it. They know people are going to buy it. You know what I mean? Like 8,000 people jumped on it at the last fucking minute. You know what I mean? And it just didn't make it. I think it's fucking total horseshit. What HasLab needs to be is like that should be their avenue for these dream toys that you have a month. Go there and pre-order it, and that's what they make.
Nope.
That is what it should be, not this fucking crowdfunding bullshit.
Well, I think, JD, what you said there is, the spirit seemed like this is a dream toy that people have wanted for a long time.
It's not, though. Like,
I know, that's
how
what I'm
many
saying.
did they make in a 3 3/4 inch?
No, what I'm saying is like if you go back to the barge, right? And you guys remember this a few years ago, I was one of the first ones to say that I did not like this model from HasLab, right? But I didn't want
I remember
the barge.
it was episode.
Yeah.
What are we on? 177. Episode 25. No.
But that was an epic piece never before seen, right? Unicron, to that scale is something that was never before seen like that. The Sentinel, you could argue, right? Like, I wanted the Razor Crest more than any of these other projects, but I don't think that's a dream item. right? Yeah, but that's something that they could have done. So, same thing. It's like they're watering down the actual items themselves, and even the Sky Striker. That's not one epic item, right? That's like what looks like a nice updated version with a shit ton of accessories to go with it. The stand and all the stuff. So it's not one specific thing.
I think I forget who it was, but Ass was like, "Who the fuck is this Sky Striker for?" You know what I mean? Like, who is that for? Like, most people have sold off their 3 3/4 inch collections. So, like, it doesn't really have any fucking place, and it came out of nowhere. Like that again, like it should have been, because they're pushing the fucking classified stuff. It should have been something for classified.
Do you think it's
they're not running 3 3/4 inch stuff anymore? You know what I mean?
Yeah, and
I'm sorry.
Do you think the vehicle size has anything to do with it, though?
That's exactly where I was going. Shelf space.
Yeah,
it doesn't exist anymore.
But that's a fucking jet that's like 3 foot wide.
Wait, which one?
The
Sky Striker,
the one that's being funded.
Yeah.
Right. Now imagine if it was for 6 inch, how big it'd have to be.
But you do something smaller to see how that would do. You don't do something of that size. You don't do a 6 inch Sky Striker. That'd be ridiculous.
Right. So they go and do a 3 inch one and they got it funded.
No, and they go into like, we're gonna do a Skyhawk, or this will be a Trouble Bubble and a fucking Skyhawk 2-pack.
They've done that though.
A Hiss tank. Yeah.
They did that with Star Wars. They did a land speeder, right? They did a land speeder, and then they did a TIE fighter.
They did a TIE fighter.
Yeah,
I get it. But I'm saying
that shit.
And both of them sat on the clearance rack.
But you don't need a little vehicle for a HasLab product either. That's not an epic. It's not a thing.
Why does it have to be size? What could it be? Could it be
size
volume?
Matters here.
Volume of something. Dude, give me a HasLab project for 500 pairs of hands for my Black Series figures.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm kind of, as these HasLabs getting popped out, I really kind of agree with JD in regards to the fact that they really shouldn't, have a threshold of 8,000 or 7,000, 6,000 to fund. They should just treat it like Super 7. Because what it got to 8,500. So last night it got to 8,500. Who cares? 8,500. You can still they can make that and make money off of that. Why would you just make a threshold where if it doesn't pass, I'm not going to do it.
If your biggest, go ahead, Brian. I have one last.
I was going to say it's the in thing right now, right? Everybody wants to be on the goody two shoes side of the barometer, right? It's like everybody, be nice, be PC. Crowdfunding's a thing, man. It's like people need help, put up a GoFundMe, and it's like people just want to give their money away. I mean, JD, your points are valid. They're a big company, like they don't need this money to make this stuff. But if people are giving their money away, you might as well just put your hand out. That's the only reason why they're doing it. So,
listen, sometimes instead of trying to appeal to the variety, you stick with what's winning. And if Marvel is their most successful projects, right, between the Sentinel and Galactus, then why, with this, X-Men wave and the characters that they're doing from the cartoon, why you're not doing a Marvel Legends style, Blackbird, right? And just keep that Marvel train progressing with the brand that they know is going to have that type of support.
You know how big that thing would be?
I mean, pretty big.
It would be like doing a Sky Striker.
Yeah,
in 6-inch scale.
Yeah, but you're doing it for the brand that clearly.
Yeah, but that's a discussion we're having. CJD. Not everybody has a castle like you do. You know what I'm saying?
No, I'm not. I'm not.
You could dedicate a room to just vehicles. You know what I mean?
It has nothing to do with the size. Well, actually, it does. But I'm not saying go that big.
Uh-huh.
They did a TIE fighter. A lot of people didn't have the fucking room for it. So but again, that was another thing. They just threw it out there, so they could just make the shit You know what I mean? They're just
So-
throwing it out there.
It's not
So,
that
like-
Hasbro didn't lose the money on the TIE Fighter either. They sold
No.
that shit, and the only people who lost
They didn't.
Get him, Jake.
But even then, right? We've had this discussion. The TIE Fighter they chose to do instead of doing like the regular trilogy version, right?
They did. The
They had to
fucking
do it
first
from a new movie instead of just like again, just I don't know. It's a big disconnect.
order.
You wanna put a pin in
Again,
it?
this
You wanna-
goes back to choices that whoever's in charge of like making those decisions, that's on them. You know what I mean? Bring this Steve Evans dude back. Let him handle both Marvel and fucking Star Wars because it's all Disney's. Just give him Disney.
Mm.
You know? And then he can delegate to other people. Look, we're creating jobs and all that good stuff.
Take my knowledge, I
What
beg.
would
Yeah.
everyone else do?
What do you mean?
Well,
what
hey,
everyone else?
you want
do?
to put a pin in this
Yes.
and move on
Pin?
to something else?
Oh,
Stomp on this.
okay.
Unless there's more to be said.
I thought this was the topic.
Oh no, we just.
I wanna-
Hey, it's hot. It's hot. We got to talk
Yeah.
about it.
I wanna
But
stomp
we got
on
other
a
things we can
Rancor.
discuss.
Yeah.
I mean-
another thing that might be good to like bring up is, and I put it in my comment, and this is where I'll leave it, and it's something to think about: the death of Toys R Us. Hasbro fucking sweat. They're sweating at that. When Hasbro went under, they started sweating.
Oh, when Toys R Us went under. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's where the Pulse and HasLab and all this new shit that they don't know what they're doing with.
And all the Target and Walmart exclusives. Those
Yep.
wouldn't exist if Toys R Us still
Absolutely,
I
absolutely, because it would be on the shelves at Toys R Us.
did. Yeah.
Pretty much on point there. I mean, I saw the Hasbro stock dip when that
Okay.
Toys R Us thing happened. It was just like
Yep.
boom. Gary, do we need to mute you? We can't see you, but we can hear you.
Anyway, yeah, go for it. Let's do this.
But yeah, and also too, I did see an article about the Rancor where they said, and it was like, and this is a good way to kick off the 40th anniversary of Return of the Jedi. I was like, hey, you're a little 2 years too early. I mean, we're not getting those carded figures for another 2 more years. You know what I mean? So,
Well, just to close on that before we finish off completely, what lessons do you think Hasbro has learned
None.
from this?
None.
Yeah, that's what I think.
They're going to continue
They're not
down
gonna
the
look
same
inward.
fucking path they have been.
You think
I
we'll
hope they
ever
do.
see 3 HasLab at the same time again?
Yeah, like
I think if anything, that's their takeaway.
Cookie
probably
Monster.
not. Yeah, I mean, that's, and
Definitely
this
December.
Sky Striker, the Sky Striker funding, I mean, it got like over, 3,000 things today. It's, I mean, that's just the, what do they call it? The second, I was getting
Wave?
ready to say second-hand cannibal, but that's
Swole?
not it. The, no, the,
Second-hand cannibal.
like sloppy seconds. Is that it? The
Sure.
leftovers, like the Rancor people are like, oh well.
Do you think the
I
G.I. Joe fans saw what
I
happened?
can
with
put this
the
money in the
Rancor
bank, but there's something tomorrow I can buy. All right, I'll do that.
Do you
So.
think like the G.I. Joe fans saw what happened with the Rancor and said, well, we shouldn't be fucking around. Let's just fund this thing because if it doesn't fund, it's not going to be made. So
No, I
really
think
the
I
shit on
think
it,
that
or-
Hasbro just kind of fudges it. Like, oh yeah, it got funded. We're just gonna make it anyway.
Oh, this
Because
one
it
was the first one that
can.
funded, so they just said like, oh, but we got to at least have 2 of these things fund. So
Yeah, yeah. So they're like, okay, hey, call BBTS and ask them, say, hey, if you get us over the mark, we'll sell these to you for X amount of money because it only costs us what $80 to make it out of the factory.
yeah, they gave him a
You know what I mean?
discount.
$50 to make them in the factory, whatever it is. So that could be it. I don't know. Anyway,
So,
Pin in it.
shutting
All right.
up, sir.
So we have. Oh no, JD, you brought up some great points. But Jeremy B and Energon Attic, I think they have some things that they want to talk about.
We do.
I mean,
We
There
do.
was homework. I heard there was homework.
Right.
Was I the only one
You
that
guys
did the
do your
reading?
homework?
I did
I
required reading.
I knew nothing of homework.
I got the
JD,
got my work right
you
here.
bad boy. You didn't read the chat.
Got my little-
Oops. Well,
Yeah,
yeah,
it
have
was
to answer on the
You're
fly.
too busy fighting with Hasbro that you're not reading your boy's chat.
He wrote his book on Hasbro's comment. Read the shit.
It's all right, JD. You'll be able to wing it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's easy.
Yeah, a
So-
bunch of stuff about. Oh, never mind. There it is.
Yeah, so I figured, being Jeremy's first time with us, and usually we're a bunch of clowns. Not the same kind of clowns you have on Monday, with the exception of Brian, but still clowns in a good sense. Just trying to get in your head a little bit better, get to know you a little more, and us at the same time. So I have a few questions. You know what I mean? You could either have done your homework or you can wing it, JD. So here goes. Okay. So my first question, everybody's gonna take their turn. Whether this was your childhood crush or even your current crush, right? Who is your on-screen like hot mama? Who's been the one that your wife's gonna give you that whole pass for, and just let say, look, I know how much you want her, go for it, but you're coming back home to me when you're done. Jeremy, you go first.
Sure. I put a lot of thought in this one, an uncomfortable amount of thought actually, and I came up with some contenders. So I don't really have anybody now, but there's a lot from way back that started with, I think, Miss Elizabeth. I think that would have been the first
Oh,
one.
had to be a wrestling answer.
It had to be a wrestling answer, but when I think back, it's her, and it's like, I don't know, it doesn't pick back up until the 90s. Like, I mean, you go Lisa Turtle, Jessica Biel, Jennifer Love Hewitt, but I think the one I'm gonna pick is not one that might be as widely praised, but Eliza Dushku. She was in.
I know exactly who she is.
Yeah.
That's Beekman's World. No. True Lies.
One of those scary movies she was in, right?
She was, but it was a Paul Reiser dramedy, Bye Bye Love, where
Yes.
she
Yeah.
got me, man. I don't know what it was, because you talk about lust. I got lust up and down the boards, but
Jeremy B.
I mean, I
Actually,
love
I'm
that
gonna save
girl.
that.
Good. I want that answer from you guys. I don't want like you said, Jessica Biel. Jennifer Love Hewitt was one of mine, like all-time favorites. Like Girl Next Door, big boobies.
I've got a type. I mean, you could
Like-
trace a lot of this back real easy. You'd connect the dots, but yeah.
That's a good one.
And
What about you?
she is the girl from True Lies as well. She's Arnold's daughter.
Yes.
And was she in The First Hill Have Eyes or something? One of those movies too? Or
one
something
of
like
those.
that?
I don't. Oh, shit. Which one was it? Now I know what she did last time. She was in one of those, but
And that nerd movie with DJ, whatever
Yep.
his name is, DJ Quick. She was in that movie with him too. She's cute.
So what about
Brink, you
Gary?
want to?
Oh,
Oh, you next? Go ahead. Go ahead.
want to tell us who you like, Gary?
Oh yeah. Oh jeez. Yeah. All right. So I don't want to be judged. Okay. But the teenage crush for me was actually I really liked Leia Remini, and I remember her from a spin-off show of Who's the Boss, about this like modeling company that this woman ran like out of her house. Top model. I forget what something. It didn't last more than like a season. So that was sort of like in the 80s piece. But when she showed up on Saved by the Bell as Leon Crosey's daughter at the beach resort, when the whole crew worked there, like, and she and Zach dated for that season, I really, that did it for me there.
That sassy gotcha did it.
It kind of did. And,
Yeah.
from a physical standpoint, she's probably not my epitome, but something about it stuck with me. So that'd be my.
I also
my,
forgot
my
Aunt Becky. Add Aunt Becky to that list.
Aunt Becky
Who's
from
that?
Full House.
Who's this? Who am I? Who's Aunt Becky?
Full House.
Lori
Full
Loughlin.
House, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Remember the hashtag free Aunt
Yeah.
Becky? She was going to jail for getting her kids
Exactly.
into school or some shit.
Yeah.
College fraud. Yeah, exactly.
It's funny, Jeremy or Gary, that you say that. Pardon me, because I just got done binge watching Seinfeld, and every couple episodes he's got his his date of the week or whatever,
Right. Yep.
and people like Lori Loughlin star in one episode, and I'm just like, pause it. I'm just like, Brian, this show took place how many years ago now?
It's like 30 years, right?
Yeah. But yeah, man, there's
He's googling them. He's googling.
he had some dude, man. Shout out to Jerry having a successful show, making all that money, and just being able to kiss a new pretty girl every week.
Harry Hatcher.
Great Duke, you
Yeah.
get it.
So Brian, is that yours?
No,
So who is it?
we choose one.
You could choose. You could choose two.
All right, I'm gonna choose two.
Have as many as you like.
One is Andy McDowell. You guys familiar with her?
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. She was the love interest in Groundhog Day.
Okay.
Yes.
So I don't know, like me growing up late high school, early college, I don't know. I just thought she was.
She did a lot of good like shampoo and commercials too. No, she
has great hair. That's absolutely true.
She was like one of those Maybelline girls or whatever.
Yes.
Maybe she's made with it.
My favorite movie.
And,
she was in Hudson Hawk. Hudson Hawk. She was in.
Yeah.
She was cute in there.
So yeah, I'll just go with that.
I like. How about you, JD?
So
You can't say Chan. I don't give a fuck.
okay, all right, okay. I mean that's my
We know. We know.
Solid answer, but dig deeper.
I'm gonna say
yes, Linda Carter.
Carrie Fisher.
Oh, classic.
Ooh.
Cute. Yeah.
Oh man, I mean that's hard to beat right there. The princess.
Yep, it was one of my lifelong dreams is to make out with her.
How'd that go?
Just make out.
Yeah.
I mean,
classy.
That's
Leave him
good.
But you'd be dressed up like Solo, right?
Or Luke.
It doesn't matter.
Answer that one question
Yeah,
carefully.
it doesn't matter.
What about you guys in the chat squad?
You
What's
scruffy nerf herder.
your answers out there?
Who's scruffy looking?
Yeah, share the thing. I can't pull up the chat on this phone thing for some reason. If I do, I keep getting bounced out.
Ricky mentioned Salma Hayek. I would
That's a good one.
be fine with that
That's
tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yep, I'm good with that.
Nice.
Oh yeah, Desperado. She's in
What about you, Dom?
mine? It's Winnie Cooper. I'm sorry, buddy.
Winnie Cooper.
Whoa, good poll, Dom. That's a good one.
She's
Winnie.
my childhood. And she looks
Good one.
beautiful now. Like
She does look good. Did you see when she was on Big Bang Theory for those couple episodes?
I've seen her in Big Bang. She also was the one of the guys from the Impractical Jokers has a crush on him. They did an episode with her where he was conducting an interview with her, all like greased up and naked and stuff like that, with just a speaker on. He was doing an interview with Winnie Cooper, and she was like, "Oh, like beautiful." She's just she has that.
Well, she's like a doctor now too, right?
Oh, yeah, she's smart as fuck. It's
Yeah.
like a PhD.
She has like a PhD in math.
Yeah.
Not that I have a list, but I thought of one more. If it had to be today with the whole hall pass thing, I think Lily from How I Met Your Mother. That would probably be just because she's awesome. She's like,
Is that Bandcamp girl?
that is Bandcamp girl.
Yeah. All right.
And I know my wife's into her too, so
You're trying to get them both in there. Look at you, bro. Like
synergies.
Right.
I guess another one for me
What
would be Amanda Peet.
Yeah. What was that?
She was
9?
in that comedy
American
with
Pie,
Bruce
right?
Willis.
With
No,
Bruce Willis. No.
Bruce Willis and
8 and a
the
half.
guy from Friends.
Chandler.
It was.
Shit, I could see it. Yeah.
There was a
Oh,
sequel to
man,
it
the
as well.
Pete. Yes.
It was like a mob thing, and I can't remember what it was.
Yeah, Bruce Willis like wasn't like a
What was
bad
that
guy or
called?
some shit like that.
What was that called?
It had a number in it.
Whole
It was like
9 yards?
9.5 or
That's
whole
it,
9
Whole
yards.
Nine
Whole 9 yards?
Yes.
Yeah.
I remember that movie.
That's good shit. What about you, Dave?
Oof. I got so many, but as a child for a long time, it was Alyssa Milano from Who's the Boss.
Yeah.
Good one.
I just had it's not about that ponytail. It just drove me nuts. And then to this day, and probably through my childhood, even to my adulthood, and she's a bit older than me. I think she can be my mother. You look into it, is Diane Lane.
Oh,
Ooh,
yes.
that's a
Very
good
Yeah.
one.
Classic.
I still see Diane Lane, and I'm like, yo, she can get it. Like, I don't know what it is about Diane Lane, but she just drives me nuts.
I don't know, man. I got a thing for collarbones.
Collarbones and shoulders, bro.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, but you there.
In the
All right,
80s,
so-
I had a crush on Punky Brewster.
Oh yeah.
She's on a new show now, right? Like,
Yeah.
or
I
they
don't know.
they cancel
There
it.
is a new something.
She's done a few things. She's very
She does
pretty.
a lot of Hallmark.
As a-
She does a lot of
as an
Hallmark.
adult. Yeah.
A lot of people used to like Topanga too from Boy Meets World.
Oh yeah.
Topanga fan. Not a big Topanga fan.
Topanga was a big. I remember that. All right, so let's jump off topic. No more of this, because then I'm gonna be chasing my wife after the show. What is your? So this show should be called Guilty Pleasures, right? Oh, look at this. Look at Daniel.
That's a good
Look, you
preliminary.
see?
Listen, you gotta
See,
relax.
he gets it.
Can't like.
That's a
Forget
lot. It is.
He picked like 12 people.
Don't forget Kelly Bundy too. I think that if I was a kid,
Oh,
that was
Christina
probably-
Applegate, absolutely.
Yeah.
The new Milano.
All right, so this episode should be called Guilty Pleasures. So that was your first guilty pleasure question. Second one is what is your guilty pleasure when it comes to food? And not like, oh, I like to eat pizza once in a while. No, I want to hear the weird thing you eat, whether when you're drunk, stoned, or something that you eat that you don't want nobody to know you do it this way, eat it this way. Like last night I heard people eating peanut butter and cheese sandwiches, and I'm just like, all right, I'll try it, but I want to hear some funky stuff. Mine is not so funky, so I'll start just to break the ice. It's something weird I do. My wife knows about it. She hasn't divorced me yet, but I do it. And you guys all know I like to get, a little stoned once in a while and stuff, So
No. Really? You?
I
Take my answer.
But I
Better not take my answer.
I saw something online a few years back, and it was I think I've shared this with a few of you because it's something I really do. I do this once in a while, and it was if you eat an orange in the shower, it's supposed to enhance the flavor and taste better, right? So I eat fruit snacks in the shower because
That
they are
shit
so
doesn't-
much better in the shower than they are anywhere else. So I'm not bathing. I'm not like washing my balls and eating fruit snacks. So don't think
Don't
that's
go
what I'm
into the
doing.
shower specifically to have a
what
snack.
your hands
But
are in the
I'll
shower.
stuff a
And
pack
now
of
you're
fruit
having
snacks.
a snack while you do it. That's
I'll put a bunch of fruit snacks in my mouth before I jump in the shower. And I tell you, I've done it so many times that my wife has found the fruit snack in between the shampoo bottles, the Welch's fruit snack bags. And it's just something weird I do. And I had to tell you because that's what we're doing here. We're doing weird. So I want to hear what you guys do.
All right, I'll go next. One thing I like to do, and I don't do this very often because I used to do it a lot when I was younger, but as I'm older, I don't know, I just forget. But every once in a while, it creeps into my mind, and I'm like, oh yeah, it's time to do that.
Uh-oh. I'm kind of scared to hear this.
It's,
How much
it's,
butter
it's
is
not that
involved
bad,
with
but
this?
it's basically you go to the bagel shop, get yourself a bagel with cream cheese and a bag of sour cream and onion potato chips. and you basically just pull it apart, put the chips in, smash it back together,
That's not
and
bad.
that's a
That
fun,
sounds good,
that's a fun
man.
little
It's
treat.
delicious. You got your
That
bagel
sounds
with the nice-
delicious. It's like
Yeah.
eating a chive bagel or
yeah,
something.
Yeah, it's-
Yeah.
If they have the ridged kind, then you're really in for a treat.
Oh.
Yeah.
The ridged
That gives you
kind.
the extra crunch.
Mhm. That good old ridged. Huh.
Nah,
So-
you're the one.
I don't really have anything weird that I eat anymore. I don't know. I kind of changed a lot of those habits, and it's boring and fucking whatever. But as far as, I don't know if this is weird, but I know that my kids either forgot this trick or I just showed them for the first time a couple days ago. I don't remember, but taking a cupcake and ice cream and smashing that shit all up together until the ice cream isn't really liquid anymore and the cupcake isn't really solid anymore, and it's just one smooth, goopy, awesome, you know. Does that count?
It
I mean,
sounds
that's
good
the thing.
too.
People fold brownies into ice cream
Yeah.
and stuff. If you go to like Cold Stone and whatnot, they do all
I was
kinds
just
of
gonna
stuff.
say that, Brian. You ever see them beat up your fucking ice cream in Cold Stone and
That's
slap it
the
on the
idea.
fucking
That's
table and
what
shit?
you're doing. Yeah. You guys familiar with Ohio Valley Pizza? Never mind. Charlotte wins.
I've never done that, but I've taken a cookie dough like barrel and ate it like it was just ice cream.
Oh man, Jay says he puts vanilla ice cream on his pizza. That's
Huh.
That's interesting.
like
some
a
real
giant
turtle
scoop,
shit.
like a giant scoop, or like I'm interested. Do you spread it on with a knife? Like I'm kind of curious. We need a picture.
Vanilla bean or French vanilla?
That's like taking French fries and sticking it in your.
That's
sundae.
delicious. Has anybody ever? I hope you all
With
done
the
that.
frosty?
Yeah.
Like
with
at Wendy's?
Frosty, yeah. Wendy's
Yeah.
Frosty, yeah. Or like a McFlurry. You just dip that shit right in. Real good.
So I don't really have one.
You don't eat nothing weird, bro. That people will be like, "What the hell is that? Why are you eating it like that? Why do you do it like that?"
I mean, I'll have the occasional like bacon and peanut butter sandwich. You can toast the bread, crispy bacon, melty peanut butter. But it's not often. I guess I have an obsession with like peanut butter filled pretzels
Oh yeah. Those are
Oh
good.
yeah.
and like licorice and
Oh.
gummy snacks, like fruity stuff,
Mhm.
like fruit slices and gummy bears.
You ever eat them in the shower?
No. Did you ever eat gummy bears in the shower?
Yeah.
Dude, I don't know if I have any gummy snacks. I want to try this out.
I'm more curious about how many
Next
people
time you
are going
sleep
to listen
over,
to this
Brian, I'll
shit.
set you up.
All right.
Towel and fruit snacks.
How many
Weird thing
people are
is-
going to listen to this and then go try it? That's the number I want to know.
But the thing is, I brush my teeth in the shower. You're gonna screw my system all up, Dave. I can't eat in the shower. I'm brushing my teeth in there.
Okay, so me, I love peanut butter. So anything like I'll put anything pretty much on peanut butter. But like when I was a kid, I used to take chocolate frosting, like you would put on a cake, and peanut butter. Put that in a bowl. Put it in your microwave for like a minute, make it melt, and then stir it, and I drop it on ice cream and just like eat it. I got off ice cream just because I love the
sounds
chocolate,
good.
mix it and just put it all together. But in college, since I didn't have like sliced bread a lot of times, I would have like sun chips. I would used to put like sun chips and spread peanut butter. Like while I'm eating peanut butter with a spoon, I'll just hit like it with spread it on a little couple sun chips and eat it with sun chips.
That sounds funky. See, that's weird.
Sun chips are very fragile, Dom. I mean, do you have a delicate touch? Like, how
A
did you
very
do that?
delicate touch, yeah. Very
Yeah.
delicate touch, yeah. Just put it right on there. Just heat the sun chip, like any sun chip, like cheddar, regular or French, like French onion. I
Salsa.
would just put.
What
I
about
would
those
put-
spicy ones, like those red ones?
Sun chips are good because they got the
Garden
creamy taste. So
salsa.
with peanut butter on top of it, it tastes really good. I did something I did in college because we would always have a bag of sun chips all over the place. So that's what I would do.
We got EE Prime candy corn.
Oh God.
You're the one.
I like it too. I like it too, dude. Yep.
Why don't you have some black licorice and white chocolate while you're at it? Ugh.
Yeah,
White
black
chocolate's delicious too.
Dipping pizza in ranch dressing. I've seen that done.
Yeah, that's not too
I've
bad.
heard that,
My
yeah.
brother does that.
What about you,
So-
Gary?
So I'll share. So there's three things. So one is that's just kind of odd, but I've gotten accustomed to it. So you guys know when you do meal prep and you're trying to eat on schedule, you're not always in a place where you can heat your food up if you're traveling with your cooler. So whether it be like in the car or traveling, something like that. So I've gotten accustomed to eating stuff cold. That would probably turn most people's stomachs where they wouldn't be able to eat it. Whether it's like chicken and rice, but I've eaten fish and like asparagus as meals that I've prepped ahead of time that you just have to eat cold, beef, bison with like broccoli and stuff. So it's just gotten used to it. So it's not very pleasant or very good, but it's just
Cooked just cold.
correct. Yeah,
You're
it's
not eating
cooked.
raw
It's just-
bison.
No, yeah. But it's like, it's in a cooler, so it's cool.
I mean, I could see Gary chewing on a big bison.
Yo, EE's on point. Cold fried chicken, because when you reheat it, it don't taste the same, bro.
No, yeah.
No.
So you
Yep,
have to have
cold fried
that-
chicken still has the crunch.
Yep.
The
Got the grease, a little bit of grease at the.
so as a
Some hot
kid,
shit.
though, well, I'll say that was kind of maybe a little bit odd. I don't know if you guys did this, but I would do like these bologna roll-ups where you take like the slice of bologna and like ketchup in one and like roll it up, right? And then mustard in another one and like roll it and then just eat it almost just like that, right? Put it on the plate with like your chips and stuff.
You mean like
My
hot
bologna
dog
has a
bologna?
first name. It's Gary.
Ketchup
But-
on bologna?
Not on it, but like roll it. Yeah.
I could do ketchup on bologna, dude. You ever have ketchup on bologna?
Man, I haven't had
But
bologna in
here's what I'll share.
35 years.
The guilty pleasure, though. So similar to Brian, where he's like, hey, every once in a while, probably once a year, I will, when I'm at the grocery store, buy an Entenmann's raspberry Danish, right? Like the blue
my
box,
Mhm.
right? With the white icing on
rectangular
it.
one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And, your average person has a slice or two, right, at a time. I will sit and I can eat that entire tray in one sitting.
Wow.
And literally just slice it, eat it, slice it again, eat it
Just one more. Just one
until
more
it's
slice.
gone. Like it's the most Homer Simpson like thing ever.
Don't
But
don't get me on those cakes, man. Those get to me.
so I can't buy it because I can't not finish it if I start it. So yeah, pretty much once a year it'll happen, and I'll make myself kind of nauseous for like a couple hours, and then it goes away.
Gary, I got a thing like that. It's with just salami, and it's gotta be that Oscar Mayer kind that comes with the yellow backing, and you put it
Right.
on. It's the hard
Ugh.
salami. You can't find it. The pandemic just made it impossible to find. But I would always I'll go to the grocery store, and sometimes if I have no idea what I'm hungry for, I'll just be like, you know what? Maybe I'll make some sandwiches this week. I'll eat sandwiches this week, so I'll buy some lunch meat or whatever. And I never end up. I'll make one sandwich, and then basically it's every time I go in the kitchen, let's go in that meat drawer. Oh, I'll have a slice of salami, or something like that. It's that hardly ever makes it into the sandwich, so I don't buy it because it's
You ever put salami in the microwave?
no. Also, I don't own a microwave, but
Oh, all right. Well, you could fry it
put
then.
salami in
You
an
could fry it
oyster?
then.
Do you ever have salami in the shower?
Perfect.
Jeremy, I think based on where you live, because
Have a taste-
I grew
have
up
a
there.
taste of salami.
Did you ever eat at a chain called Mr. Hero?
There's one right down the street.
Okay,
It's in
so
the
they have
convenience
that.
store.
They have that they have that Roman burger that they used to be
Yeah.
known for years ago, which was that it was like a burger, but it was on a sub roll. So it's two burgers, and it was white American cheese with Italian dressing and shredded lettuce and tomato, but it also had fried salami on top of it also.
I'm aware of it. I've never had one.
Yeah, it's actually just pretty good. But it was like the staple for this chain that used to be in the Midwest called Mr. Hero.
Oh, it's still here. It's
Yeah,
right
no,
down
I'm
the
sure. I
street.
think they're in like stores now a lot more.
Yeah,
than
I don't know if they
anymore.
exist on their own.
Right.
So I got a question for you, Gary. Were you familiar with the idea of Ohio Valley pizza up here? Because Cleveland pizza is shit, sir.
It is. No, it is. And I'm not. And the reason being is because we never ate pizza since my parents are from Chicago. So we never ordered it when I was a kid there growing up, basically. And we just wouldn't have it when we visited.
I'm sure they do this other places, but where I come from, Pittsburgh, Steubenville, Weirton, Ohio Valley. Steubenville, yeah. The Wu-Tang's from there. Look it up. Dean Martin. Also some terrible rape charges in high school, but that's not what we're talking about right now. So the pizza, it's pizza by the slice, and the old school big cast iron pizza ovens where they cook a bunch of it and then they put the toppings on raw, including the second layer of cheese. So if I could, let me just share and I'll show you guys what this goodness is.
So while you're mentioning Cleveland, it reminds me of the Drew Carey show, and there was a brunette on that show that I had a huge crush on too. Like I don't have no idea who the actress is. I'd have to look her up.
So if
I
you're
think
ever
she ended
in
up
Wheeling,
on one of those Cougar shows or something.
She did. Yes. Yeah. She was. I think it was Cougar Town, wasn't it? With Courtney Cox?
yes. If you ever find yourself in Wheeling, West Virginia,
Jeremy,
Carlos.
real quick before you describe this, I just want to let you know that Chan
Elio's.
has the same crush on that girl that you do.
Yeah, that makes me feel good. It's not just me.
JD,
But,
watch out. Just FYI.
No, she's coming for everybody. Eliza, man, she's something special. So this is the best pizza in the world. Sold by the slice, the pepperoni goes on cold, the second layer of cheese goes on cold, and you've got like a 4-minute window that you have to sit down and eat it before the top layer of cheese melts, and it's just the best shit ever.
Like a hot and cold pizza at the same time.
They do
Yes.
that out here in Long Island too. Yeah, they'll throw the fresh mozzarella on the pizza. And you kind of have to eat it within a few minutes before it melts. Same thing.
There's
Yep.
a window, but yeah, we used to get that
what?
right. What?
You have to eat it? Doesn't it
Because
melt in
it's
the oven?
cold and hot. The pizza and the
Oh,
sauce
the
is still
pizza's hot. The pizza's
But
hot.
the
And they put the cold
pepperoni-
things on the... Right.
Yeah, they cook it once with the sauce. It's three steps. I've worked at like 6 of these places. You put it on with a thin layer of sauce. You let the crust get real crispy. You put the second layer of sauce on. The sauce heats up, and you put a little bit of cheese on it, just enough to hold it all together. Then you pull it out. You cut it. You put cold pepperoni and then a cold layer of cheese on. And when you bite it, the sauce is warm. The crust is crunchy and warm, and then but the toppings and the cheese is cold. So it's Brian. I hate to call it an orgasm in your mouth, but it's kind of like what it is.
All right. I mean, Jeremy, you're lucky I know you, because I don't know, if I was drinking gin right now, I would just tell you it's the stupidest thing I ever heard.
One day, sir. One day. I'll get you.
There's a pizzeria out on Long Island that they're famous for that too. That same concept.
Yeah.
And people line up for it, Ryan. Believe it or not.
All right, I'll
Listen,
have to
Dave, I don't
check
need
out-
Long
check
Island
out-
to validate me or my feelings, so I appreciate that, but I've got this one.
I'll have to check out the one bite guy, see if he's ever done that one.
He's been to that one that I'm talking
All right.
about. So yeah,
All
I
right,
could,
cool.
yeah.
Yeah. Good shit.
All right. On to the next one.
Really, I said orgasm in my mouth and nobody like that.
Isn't Monday
that's
night?
just-
Yeah.
my bad.
This
Doesn't fly
This
here.
is breaking
This is
the
more
mold. We have
cultured.
orgasms in our
I'm
mouth every
sorry.
day.
These stupid jokes don't get over here. That's
Talking
fine.
to
All
a
right,
guy-
I'll just.
You're talking to a guy who has fruit snacks in the shower.
Exactly.
I think he's got plenty of orgasms in his mouth.
Whoa.
Bravo.
The next one
Should try Gushers, buddy.
is I wanted to ask everybody if there's a series or TV show that maybe you watch that's kind of out the norm. Like, you know, like stuff that we don't talk about that we'd recommend to one another necessarily, but something that's like kind of your guilty pleasure. You don't really tell nobody you watch. If you watch PBS at like 2 a.m. and watch some funky stuff, anything, just what it is, let me know. So who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
Huh?
Gilmore Girls. I've been watching it with my wife, and I'll don't ever tell her I like it, but I started enjoying it. And, it's after a couple episodes it's grown on me. So it like at first I started making fun of it because of the fast talking and just the way people just don't talk like that, and, and all of a sudden we watched it several times in long hour spurts, and eventually fell in love with it. So,
That's why I haven't seen you in a while. You watching Gilmore Girls?
The one lady on that was on Parenthood. The sister, I think, because my wife was really into Gilmore Girls, and she always pointed that out. But I hear it's a good show.
Dom, that's Jeremy's way of saying he watches it too.
No,
He'll text you later.
I've got worse. I'm. Don't worry, not that one, but there's some in there.
JP?
I don't know if I really have one. I watch a lot of cartoons. I don't know.
We know this though.
Cartoons are cool.
Yeah. Come back to me.
Come back. All right.
I'll think about it.
G Money.
I like a lot of nature shows that I think it stems from as kids, we didn't have cable. I never had cable growing up until I basically went away to college. So when you have to watch like PBS for certain things back in the day, right, when you had like 7 or 8 channels to pick from, you'd catch like a lot of that stuff. So it's kind of stuck with me. So it's always been one of those things where I'll watch, like, I used to watch Steve Irwin back in the day before he was like super popular, right? When he was like kind of an unknown. In the early 2000s, there was this other guy that was on Animal Planet called the Jeff Corwin Experience.
Yes,
Which
yes.
is pretty entertaining. I like that dude a lot, actually, because he was afraid of the monkeys. That's kind of cool, but he was really good. But yeah, so I can watch that stuff pretty much anytime. I'll get caught into it if I happen to see something that looks interesting.
You watch the stuff on the extinct animals too and all that too?
Sometimes. I mean, I've got sucked into when they used to do like the imaginary this versus that, right?
Yeah. That's what I was
like,
getting
what
to.
happened if like a T-Rex was going to battle with the grizzly bear, and they kind of do their enhancements. So it's not really nature stuff, I guess, but it, I can get sucked in that kind of stuff pretty easily. So.
I kind of admit I like that stuff too. I watch that too, that nature stuff. My wife really likes it, so once in a while it's just on and we just watch it for hours, depending on what it is.
Yeah, it's
like
really
the lion stuff and the hyenas. I love. Like I'll watch any of that shit. Man, that's cool.
So,
Brian? Oh no, you're not you. Brian.
I'll just sit back here.
This one was kind of hard because I guess a lot of things that I
you?
watch are all just part of the culture now that I seem to have adopted to take up the majority of my life. Like you gotta watch stuff before it gets spoiled. You gotta watch stuff so you can. Gary, speaking of nature shows, like that looked like an amoeba was coming at you.
I know
quick.
that's this cat's whiskers. That's like probably like, there you go.
There, yeah.
Gary's dead. What the hell just happened?
Right?
Is he rubbing it against you? All right.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you, dear.
Right.
But I really like medical shows. Like I haven't been able to watch it in so many years because I don't know where it is. It doesn't stream anywhere. But ER, like I was big into ER back in the day, and House. I think House kind of falls into the pocket of the stuff that we watch though. So I don't know if it's really too out there in regards to that. But that's something that I'll never turn away from if I ever find myself flipping through channels again. Which I only find myself doing so in hotel rooms now, it seems, but because I don't have cable here, basically.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's always kind of hard when you have to decide what you want to watch as opposed to just like, oh, it's on. But the main thing is cooking shows. Like people might not know that.
Interesting.
So yeah, I'll watch cooking shows all day long.
Mm-hmm.
It won't bother me.
Like Food Network cooking shows, or like Ramsay scream at you until you start crying.
Not
shows?
reality shows. Like things where they cook for real. And
But isn't that reality?
Bam.
no, it's not. Bam. So, dude, back in what was
Emerald.
that? 1999 through 2003. Yeah, man, go home, watch Emerald live on Food Network. I learned all that stuff, man. Pork fat rules.
And I
Words
noticed
to live by.
you do cook quite often, Brian. You share
actually.
your meals on that Realm page
Yeah.
once in a while. I'm like, wow, this guy gets down.
Yeah, I haven't done it in months. I think for the last few months I've just been eating chicken soup and
And
grilled cheese
salami.
sandwiches. Yeah.
Catch up on
JB, I didn't mean to cut you off, but you know why I didn't want you to go, because I got
I
something
do,
to
because
say.
I've got trash taste for TV, and you just want
Yeah.
to dig into that. So let's dig into it. Huh?
That's kind of the reason why he's on the show, is because we started a conversation like maybe about
Oh.
8 months ago, maybe, or something
We'll get
like
to that, but there's worse to be had before that. So the reality TV bug is, I'd love to blame it on my wife, but it's me too. Like anything that's Ramsay or and I don't know how weird things are. Like anything like Law and Order type shit, or like Brian was saying, medical stuff. We get into all that. But I always fall asleep before like halfway through the episode. The one thing that I'll stick with Dom on that is a thing that my wife loves, and every season I'm like, this is the dumbest show. I don't give a shit about this. 3 or 4 episodes in, and then I'm like, ooh, what's gonna happen next? Fucking Grey's Anatomy. Roast me.
Which one is it with McDreamy on the show? Is that one, or is
That's
that
that one, but that's those are the interesting people. The actual main character is like a nothingness, a void of personality and interest, but everyone else around her is fucking batshit crazy, and it's, I don't know, it always gets me halfway through the season. So that's not what we're here to talk about, is it, Dave?
Is that
No,
show
but
still on?
wait. Grey's Anatomy is
Yes,
still
it's
on.
like
still
17
on?
seasons and that shit.
Oh, it hasn't ended. I thought this was like, okay. Wow.
No.
Oh my god, it is.
I didn't know that.
2005. Holy shit. It's still going.
Yeah, dude. I
390 episodes.
I don't know if you guys, but like
18 seasons.
I used to watch like soap operas
Wow.
because I had to tape them for my mom back in the day. So like I got really into General Hospital because my mom loved General Hospital, and I know, like my sister still watches it, my sister-in-law still watches it. So like when I talk to them, I could be like, "Oh, what's up with the Quartermains?" or "What's up with and they'll like be surprised that I know the characters' names, and because they all stay the same. Like they've grown up. Some of the kids have grown up over the time, but.
Oh no, she has an evil twin. That's not her anymore.
Yeah, exactly. They'll bring me up to
Recast.
speed. Yeah.
Dom, I used to watch them with my grandparents. We used to watch Guiding Light. It's time for the
Yep,
stories.
Destiny.
She'd
what
make
was
my
the
grandfather
Dynasty,
a scotch on the rocks. And I'd have a root beer, and I think there was Blake and God no, I don't know. Actually,
There's
one
always
of them
a Blake.
ended up on ER if I remember correctly.
Like, I
but,
remember, like it was like my
Roger.
mom went back. to
Grandma
work,
hated Roger.
and she was like, it was VCR time. Like it's like I come home from school at like 2:30, and at 4:00, that family room TV was showing the General Hospital because that's what was showing at 4:00, and we had to tape it for her every day, and like if that was the only TV that we had in the house that like everybody sat around, so at 4:00 we were all watching freaking General Hospital. It's funny.
The things you learn about your friends, man.
What else,
So-
Jerry? What's the out of his Grey's Anatomy? What else do you watch that your wife makes you watch and you don't want to admit that it's good?
So my wife, it's these damn challenges. I've been watching MTV
Nice winning.
Challenge, Real World, all that shit
Oh, yeah,
for I don't know how many years, and I love that shit.
I
I
always
love
liked
the
Road Rules.
physicality. I love the competition. I love the drama. It's just oozing with nonsense, and I eat that shit up.
Yeah, bro. That's what sparked the conversation with me and JB, because one night he said it on ETR, and I was like, bro, you watch that shit? And I was like, so do I. every Wednesday I watch it. Like, you know, when it's not on, I'm watching Shelf Gravy, of course. But when it's on, that's all I do. Me and the wife. And now they have All Stars. Have you been watching that?
Yeah, the B team shit. Dude, fucking Derek was my dude. And that now, as of last episode, he's acting like a fucking douche. And I don't know what to do. I'm like, you're better than this, man. You're a 2-time champion. What the fuck is wrong with you?
He came in second place. That's why. He's fucking butthurt. He wanted to win the last season.
Yeah.
But well, guys, that's my guilty pleasure is that same show that he's talking about is the MTV Challenge. My wife hooked me in about 5 years ago, and I love it. I don't know what it is.
That's still like all cast members from like other shows.
Yeah,
there are the other shows don't exist anymore, so now they're pulling in from like VH1, like. Lovers from the Beach or what? I don't know what any of those shows are. I wouldn't be caught dead watching that shit. But
Rock of Love.
But, yeah, whatever. They don't do Real World or Road Rules anymore. But I mean, there's some big names that got their start on that. The Miz, for one, who's main eventing WWE stuff earlier this year. Like he was one of the first challenge. I don't know if he was ever a champion or not, but definitely one of the first heavy hitters.
Yeah, even now, you know, CT's still a big name on that. He's getting into acting. He's going to be in an upcoming movie, mob movie. I heard.
Good for him. That's awesome.
Yeah, but Gary, they pull from other countries now too. So it's like Survivor, Spain, or you know, crazy like all these different countries are involved. But it makes it interesting. I actually like the characters from the other countries more than some of the ones from the U.S. because they bring so much energy. Like it's hysterical. Like if you watch Emmy, you know what I'm talking about, Jeremy?
I do.
I piss my pants every week with that girl.
Yeah,
and I make fun of my wife because my wife is she's Italian Croatian, but her Croatian side, like some of them sound like her. So I'm like, yo, it's your fucking cousin. She's like, I'm fucking calling her that. Besides that, Brian, mine is kind of like you. Like I watch a lot of cooking shows, and Master Chef on Fox with Gordon Ramsay is something that I watch, and like I watch it and I fucking cry to it. I don't know why. But, like it's inspiring. So like it's all like fucking real people, like essentially trying to become chefs and shit. And then the other thing that I watch is like the holiday bake-offs, like the cookie championships and stuff.
Yeah, like the cakes and like the holiday.
They're like on marathons on the weekend, and we'll have it on and probably watch like 4 or 5 episodes if there's nothing else on TV.
When they're making
Dave, if you ever got a chance to meet Gordon Ramsay, what would you say to him? Would you be like, you ever had some fruit snacks in the shower?
Oh shit. But Kitchen Nightmares is something else I watch too that he's on, and I love that shit.
Yeah, that's a gross show, but it's awesome.
Yeah,
I like that one that the Bobby Flay beating Bobby Flay. Or like,
that too. I was watching it last night. Were you watching it last night, Don?
Yeah.
Then he
It's
said
always
like
a good one
throw down with Bobby or something.
Yeah. There's like a competition where he rarely loses too. It's like it's interesting.
What's great about that fucking show, Dom, is that this person, it's 2 chefs come on. They have to compete against each other to beat they beat the other opponent to go against Bobby. Then they go against Bobby with their dish that they're bringing. So, say my thing is arroz con pollo, right? Because I'm Puerto Rican, and I'm saying mine is gonna beat Bobby.
Chicken, everybody, just want to let you know.
Like I'm gonna beat Bobby. You know what I'm saying? Like, half the time most of the time he beats them anyway. It's like, how are you is this your speciality and you're still losing to him? That's what I find interesting.
Yeah, like when you face Bobby, you bring what you know you make the best of, and he still beats you.
Yeah, it's nuts.
I mean, when it comes to cook, there's a couple reality shows that I used to watch back in the day. One was Iron Chef. I did watch a long time ago. There was that one, but then when they brought it back to the Food Network with like Out and Brown hosting it and stuff like that, I would watch that. Bobby was always very impressive there. That
Yeah,
and there was this girl, I can't remember who she was, but she was like Greek. She would always drink like ouzo at the end or something, like with her sous chefs and whatnot. And then I always liked watching Man vs. Food for some reason. That
Oh
guy.
yes, yes, Brian. Me too. Me too. I've actually like I take a lot of his places that he goes as recommendations. Like if he's in New York per se. And what reminded me of that is Gary before was mentioning putting salami on top of that burger that you get from that place. There's a place out here where he went, Man versus Food went, and I still frequent. I go maybe once a year because, I watched the video with him going there, and they make this burger. It's called the Garchulo Burger, and it's a burger that they dip in an au jus sauce, like an au jus, and the roast beef. So they put burger, roast beef, and then they dip the whole thing in the au jus, and you have to eat it like that.
Wow.
It's called the Garchulo Burger. It's pretty good.
Hey, real quick. Breaking news: Sky Striker has broken 13,000 backers and has unlocked the Scarlet in Flight suit.
Yay!
Interesting. So the only show that I could really come up with was Chan brought up the fact that I introduced her to a show called The Mighty Boosh.
Ooh, what's that?
It's a BBC show. It's fucking weird. It's just weird, yeah.
The Mighty Boosh.
Yeah, so it's like this. It's these two guys that work in a zoo, and like none of the animals in the zoo are real. The one guy looks like he's straight out of a hair band from 1983, and then the other guy's just like some regular like schmo who thinks he's like the shit. You know what I mean? But then
Do they know the animals aren't real?
I think it's just because it was probably like a low budget show. This is like a BBC show.
So they're supposed to be real. They just don't use real animals.
I guess so. Like
Yeah.
the monkeys are always like people dress up in monkey costumes.
Oh, gotcha.
You know what I
Okay.
mean? It's
Okay.
stuff like that, But like every episode is something like something happens and they go on a journey into time and space, and it's all like psychedelic and it's like
Are you sure you didn't make this up?
Sounds right.
no, it's a real thing.
All right, I'm just checking.
What, JD? What was that show I was watching at your house a couple weekends ago? It was British. It was like Someone's Kids or some shit like that. Mama's Kids.
Mrs. Brown's Boys.
Yeah, that's it. Mrs. Brown's
Yeah.
Boys. That shit was hilarious.
That's something that's one of see it's
There you
One of
go.
Chan's,
See, you putting people on right now to
There it
some new
is.
shit. Mrs. Brown's Boys.
Mrs. Brown's
Yeah.
Boys.
so like that stuff airs on their regular TV, and I mean they say fuck, cunt, they
Oh yeah.
they say it all.
No, zero
no-
F's given.
Yeah. And yeah, Chan's also been on like a like the Criminal Minds and Bones kick as well.
I hate bones.
You don't like bones?
Don't like bones.
No blades, no bones. Yeah, I remember I was at your place and I was like, all right, well, I'm going to watch one more and then I'm going to go to bed. And then it's like, all right, I'm going to watch one more and then I'm going to go to bed. Mrs. Brown's Boys, yeah.
Mrs. Brown's Boys.
It's very interesting.
I think there's one more question I had. It's more collector related. Wanted to ask you guys if there's something you guys collect that's kind of like out the norm that we don't necessarily tell each other we collect. Something you kind of keep hidden, or maybe something that you might buy that you don't know why you're buying it, but you keep buying it.
Like
You know?
toenails?
There you go. If it's toenails, it's toenails.
Interesting. Well then.
It's not mine. I'm just saying that would be an interesting one. Yeah, this was of all the questions, this was the toughest for me because I'm very narrow with what I'm collecting, and that I've got piles of shit that I've accumulated over the years, but maybe that's it. Like I've got shit stored from when I was in 3rd grade, and like, school papers and all sorts of shit. When we moved into this house last year, I found.
You gonna run for president or something one day?
Oh, dude, that wouldn't go over well
So
at
why
all.
are you saving your 3rd grade book reports and shit?
I don't know because I've got all these like old Nintendo games and all this shit that I got this back in the day when this was this, and I don't want to forget that memory, but I'm not going to plug this in and play it into anything.
Oh, okay, that's
But
different.
it's not though.
That's how you
it's
get on.
stupid.
That's how you get your own episode on hoarders.
Exactly. So I've been trying to filter through some of that shit, but then I come across gems like when we were coming up in like middle school, high school. In my neighborhood, we had this kind of basketball rolling thing where we go and play in different people's driveways and shit. But there were some people that kept it very, very serious, and they kept stats, and we had teams, and that eventually evolved into a newspaper and or a newsletter and a website. And I found all this shit from like 95 or so, where it's just writing about this nonsense, and it was gems. It was looking back 25 years and seeing what you thought was funny and what your friends thought were funny, like shit like that. I'm glad I keep it, but I don't know if that's necessarily collecting or more of hoarding, and I'm trying to sort through that. But I don't know. Anybody else have a better example?
That's not bad. You're a memory keeper.
Sure. Hoarder, scared to death to leave
I'm being
anything.
nice.
Yes, I appreciate that.
I would do the same, Jeremy, but my wife wouldn't let me do it. My wife has trimmed down a lot of my shit that I came into this house with, like the stuff that I used to store in my parents' garage, like half the stuff you're mentioning.
Yeah, that's where it all came from.
My wife got rid of half. She said, "You're not bringing it here," and I've already surpassed what she thought I was going to do to this house anyway, so it doesn't matter.
CJ gets it. Time capsule shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you,
What
Brian?
else is a time capsule? This is very hard too, because I'm pretty transparent in things that I collect. But you don't see it all because
No.
I just, I don't know why I keep buying the Diaclone stuff, but I keep doing it. I like putting it in my spreadsheet, maybe that I acquired
Checks
it.
a box. That
It
is
does check a
satisfying.
box. I will mention that there are things that I do get and I never announce that I get, and it's because I don't know. I think the toys are not that great, and I just want them to be great, and I really haven't quite figured out how I'm going to display them yet, and also they take forever to come out, and they piss me off in that regard because I don't know if I'm ever going to get all the characters that I want. But I forget what the company is, but someone's making 1/12 scale characters from the Robotech Macross saga.
Mm.
And
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Isn't it
And,
like Kid Logic or something like
yeah.
that? Maybe?
Yeah.
It's the-
and they're overpriced for what they are. They're an embarrassing purchase for me. I don't know why. Like, I've messed with a couple of them and I'm just disappointed with them, but they're the only option that's out there,
Right.
kind
I've
of
looked
thing.
at, those have tempted me, Brian. I like
Yeah.
the license with but they
No.
they look very mediocre for like a $60 price range, I think,
Yeah.
right?
And they've got all the articulation and their deco's pretty good, but their function is they're very fidgety and very finicky.
Brian likes some
Hard to
Lin
say.
Min May, right? The singer.
Dude,
Or
I don't
are you-
know.
are you
Like
a
I'm
Lisa
more
Hayes
of
guy?
more of a Lisa kind of
Yeah.
guy. But
Mm.
like that show, I mean that's a soap opera right there. Just
It is.
those three guys, her, Rick, and Min May,
Mhm.
right? And I'm just like, oh, like they just missed it by 1 second, and they would have fallen in love, and they never would have like had to go through this whole thing over and over again. I'm like, wow, this is like brilliant TV from back in the day. I feel like this is like old stuff. Well, it is kind of, I guess, but yeah, it's a guilty pleasure watching that show. I mean, I would love to get some of them really nice mechs that are out there, but actually, come to think of it, I could probably afford those if I didn't buy all this damn Diaclone stuff. Well, I should rethink my life. But yeah, it's I feel really guilty when I get them, and I constantly look at stuff falling into the pile of loot, and I see those things on the pre-order list, and I'm like, oh, it's delayed again, good. Delayed again, great. Delayed again, awesome. It's like, and then I get the email, it's like, we're finally putting this in. I'm like, God damn it. It's a reluctant purchase for some reason. That and especially this time of year, I don't, the last couple of years, obviously we're in this unprecedented times, but when you go into stores this time of year, they always have impulse buy items for gifts. And I cannot help myself for picking up little toolkits in zipper cases or something with little screwdrivers in it or some kind of multi-tool thing. I go to Lowe's or Home Depot and they get me every time. And, I buy the stuff. I end up not needing it, but I'll put it away. And then, like, when I'm, like, digging for a toy I'm looking for, I'm like, oh, yeah, look at this. I actually could have used this, like, 3 months ago. Kind of stuff. I can't help myself but buy little tool sets.
Brian, how much of that do you think is related to Santa's workshop programming you at a very young age? I have the
calling me
same
an elf,
problem.
Jeremy?
What's that?
Are you calling me an elf?
No, I have the same problem.
I mean, you're taller than me. What are you talking about?
Fair enough.
You're a mean elf.
Santa's workshop. But yeah, you have that problem too?
I do. Anything that looks like it could unfold in an interesting way or make a worrying noise if plugged in, I can't not buy that shit.
It's like a whirring noise.
Worrying noise.
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest and say I got a little nervous there what Brian's answer was going to be. I thought he was going to say sex. I buy and collect sex.
I would never admit that on live on TV. That's crazy.
No, Brian. This is the way you started that whole conversation. I'm like,
I'll have to go back and
okay.
re-listen.
If you were going to collect it, would you have jars?
Ew.
I mean, what's the process there? What's that workflow look like?
Oh God, I remembered something.
Collect sex in jars?
Dude,
You're not going to put it in a bucket, are you?
Jeremy,
friend
are
used
you
to
on
have a
gin?
Silly talk.
my friend used to have a book of all the girls he hooked up with, like stats and stuff, like whether they kiss, like stuff like that. And he showed us the book of all the girls that he hooked up with.
Dude,
That's fantastic.
Classy.
dude,
Ridiculous.
I don't know why I did this, but when I first started having sex, I used to save the fucking used condom wrappers that I.
Ew.
Like a trophy.
Yeah, like show
Did
them.
you put
like
a
I had
highlighter
bag.
in it and fill it with water and shake it up and put
No,
it up
but
on
I
you?
used to brag, like, to my friends that weren't fucking, were still virgins. They used to be like, oh, okay, I'm with sex I'm having, Disgusting. My mom found it one day and was like, what the fuck? They're all empty, Ma. Why do you have them?
It's my trophy collection.
Stacks, Mom.
Throw that shit out.
This is every good decision I've made in my young life. Don't you understand?
Mom, aren't you happy that I'm practicing
Right.
safe sex?
That's it.
Yeah, true.
Not making her
Until I realized it felt better without.
Oh my.
We're getting deep into shit tonight.
Yeah, I haven't
Hey,
worn
now.
condoms since '97. What?
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 Weird things
What?
collected.
Condom free since Lilith Fair.
Dom's talking, I think.
Yeah,
You're
with
a little
things
low, Dom.
like I have one-off things, like I used to, I used to collect, like I have collected the the robot heroes, like those little things that typically when I saw them on shelves, I thought they were cool, picked them up and kept collected them all. Fast action battlers back in the day when the Return of the Revenge of the Fallen stuff came out. They used to do these fast action battlers that you can transform the figure within like 3 steps. Like I collected that whole line, yeah, and then destructive, and then like stuff like stupid one-off stuff. And then I do collect pops. As much as I hate pops, like I collect certain pops, and you will find me cursing pops at every freaking convention because it's like I don't want to buy them, but
inbox or out.
Inbox.
Oh, gotta be inbox.
Yeah, it's everything.
Collecting cancer right there.
Yeah. It's weird, you know. It's just something that like there's certain like I don't collect like everything in regards to pops, but like certain brands and lines I collect. So
there's been a few times we see Dom walking through a con and like, what's in the bag? And he like gives you that face and he's like, it's just pops.
It's a pop.
Don't look.
It's a pop.
It's like shame at the same time.
I can consider it a guilty pleasure because it's like I'm definitely shaming myself on that I'm carrying a bag of pops out of the convention. But in Jeremy regards, I don't know why I do it, but I do it. I collect my bills. Like I have stacks and stacks of like old bills that I paid, like mortgage bills that I have from like 8 years ago, like, you know, like just all my mortgage bills and like my paychecks, like old paychecks I have like from old jobs for some reason. Like
Dude, I've got every paycheck I think I've ever gotten.
What are you gonna frame that stuff one day and put it up on the fucking wall? Like, what do you have it for?
Like my Verizon bills, like I have like my Verizon bills going back to like college. Like I have a bin that I can show you, and I have like old Verizon bills, like from like old cellular plans and stuff like that for some reason. Yeah, I would love to go through that shit and just throw it all out. But I just do it. I still do it.
I'll say it again. This is how you get your own episode of horror.
He's right. Yeah, that's definitely that's immense liability to have all the information out there like that. And
well, I need a good. There was one time I kind of like cleaned it up and just shredded a bunch of stuff when
you can call service and have them all dispose of that and shred it for you.
Well, my work used
that's
to have
a thing,
those,
Gary?
Yeah, it is a thing.
It's like you do in an office building. You come out and they'll destroy it on the spot.
Yep.
Yeah, Iron Mountain and places like that.
Like I'll have, and then like they're not like, you know, they're not out in the open, but like they're like I'll probably like if you ever see like a briefcase or like a computer case in my closet, it's filled with bills.
Oh my god,
it's filled with bills.
Why?
Why?
I worry about you.
Don't know. And like there's times where like
it's in a case, so like if there's ever a catastrophe at the house, he knows what to grab first. He's like, quick, I'm gonna need those
bills.
I need those bills from that Primeco phone I had right out of college.
Show that I'm a good payer.
Dude, they have a record of all that, Dom. It's all done electronically.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, Dom, I hate throwing that stuff out too. Like I let it pile up, then I shred it and stuff, and
but why are you? Who's still getting that many paper bills these days?
Oh yeah, I mean now it's just junk mail. I shred my junk mail.
Right? Yeah, he's the last person that's like, please.
Yeah, go green. Yeah, right. I'm like, fuck you.
I never checked.
No paper, no thank you.
Like I was like, fuck you. I'm gonna mark no and mail it back to you.
Like fuck those trees. Give me my paper bill. Like
yeah.
Oh
Dom cut all his credit cards up and walks around with a checkbook.
But
Yo,
I
wish wins the day.
Right
Bring
now,
that shit up.
I wish that I was allowed to burn stuff like here on my property because I would have a metal drum out there. I'd be burning my mail every night. So Chan collects something weird.
Yeah. No, my wife has a drawer full of these. It's the weirdest thing.
That's so creepy.
My kid's teeth.
That's bizarre.
My mom used to do the same thing, Chan. I don't know why. It's a weird thing. I don't think she still has them, but I gotta ask. My mom even kept our fucking belly button clipping fucking thing. The fucking thing that falls off.
Scab. Yeah, the scab.
I have no idea why we have a drawer of teeth.
That shit was in my photo album. I was like, what the fuck is this?
Can you shake them? Make that creepy noise, like, you know, in whatever container they're in.
No, they're all in individual baggies from like. You don't unbag them after you collect them. You just throw them in a drawer and
Jeremy, how old are your kids? Aren't they old enough? Do they know that there's no tooth fairy?
8 and 12, and yes, they should be,
Okay.
but no, they're not. Like, we keep the
Oh,
magic
okay.
alive in this
I know
house, and
Aunt's
it's
kids
starting to
are
get
older.
concerning.
Yeah.
You know,
maybe they
it's
split the cash. I can
it's
appreciate
funny
that.
about the teeth. I remember when I moved out of my Wonder
okay.
Years house, and my dad and I are throwing stuff away, and he just walks up to me, hands me this thing. He's like, "Here, you want this?" I'm like, "What's this?" He's like, "Those are all your baby teeth."
Oh my god.
That's exactly what my mom did to me too.
The answer to that
She
question
handed
is
me
yes,
this
I
little-
do.
I was like,
It was this
"Tooth-
little,
tooth
like,
fairy?"
really cartoony, little.
Yeah, it was
tooth.
shaped like a tooth, right?
Yeah, and then
Yep.
but it was almost. It looked like it would have been full of like chapstick or some shit. You know what I mean? It was like a balm or something,
Right.
and she's like, "You want these?" Like, what the fuck is that? These are your
God.
teeth from when you were a kid.
This got
No,
creepy.
no, I don't.
Yeah.
I don't want that shit.
That shit freaks me
How
out.
do
You
you
guys
have
ever
this?
have a dream that all your teeth fall out?
Yes, yeah, of course.
Mm,
Yeah.
no, I had one pulled on Thursday.
Ooh.
Ouch.
It's great.
It's weird.
Super.
Aunt Becky is in the same dreams for whatever reason. I don't know how you tie that together. But
Well, I love that you call them by their character names.
But
Aunt Becky.
exactly.
Lisa Turtle. It's a turtle.
well,
Well,
that's
she
how I
felt-
know, you know?
That's how she, yeah, that's who he fell in love with.
Good shit.
Well, shit.
Well, shit.
Hmm.
I think that's all I got. Unless you guys got something.
Nope.
I got some scary dreams thinking about what's being saved in some of your houses. Like,
Listen, Gary, you come here, you eat some fruit snacks in the shower, all right? Then I'll show you my baby teeth,
God.
okay? Then
We'll
we'll
go
eat.
pay Dom's bills that were paid
Right now,
7
like,
years
right now,
ago.
I'm looking at
We'll
this.
eat peanut butter. We'll eat some peanut butter with some sun chips.
I got these two.
And then you guys can compare all the hymens that you collect.
and umbilical cords.
Ugh.
Oh. I got like right
Yeah,
now. I'm
this is
looking-
probably the weirdest episode of Breaking the Mold I've ever seen. I don't know.
You haven't watched many then.
Yeah.
I don't think it's the weirdest one yet.
Okay, that's fair.
But
Weird
Jeremy,
enough.
thanks for being here, dude.
Yeah, it's fun.
You got a birthday coming up, right?
2 hours.
Whoa!
Well,
2 hours.
we want to be the first to wish you a happy birthday.
Thank you.
Early happy
Thank you,
birthday.
guys.
And
Thank you.
was the 40th, right?
Fuck no, dude. I'm 41. I'm crossing over into
Oh shit!
closer to 50. It's
Settle
happening.
down there, buddy. Easy.
My tooth, it's elongating. Right before the eyes. Yeah,
See,
I'll be
that's- like I
41.
said,
I
you
think
gotta
so,
have
right?
That tooth removed.
80? Yeah.
Yeah, you'll be
Yeah,
fine.
41. Fuck. Thought it was 38 one year for like I think 7 or 8 hours, and I was only 36. That was a weird year, but yeah, it's coming up. It's weird because my oldest, her birthday was yesterday, so it's always like we do the whole weekend and the family birthday party and all the build up, and then like yesterday's the big we finally got through, and then oh fuck, we got to do mine too now, don't we? And it's not something I look forward to as much anymore, but then I start drinking a little bit and I feel better.
I'm all right. I'm okay.
Yeah, get my mind right, you know. But thank you, I appreciate that.
Yeah, enjoy it, bro. Enjoy it.
Thanks, Chan.
There you go.
Good looking out. Yeah, exciting. No, but I had a blast tonight,
41
guys.
looks 12.
Yeah.
That's inappropriate there. Jesus. Yeah.
You gotta read the comments, JB. They're saying you're 41, but no beard, bro. What's up?
I can't grow a beard. Everybody saw me try to grow a beard. I wanted to be JD last year. The shit didn't work out. Patches here, patches there. It's intimidating. Like, it would be the equivalent of like walking up to another dude at the urinal and just being like looking over and just being like, can't do it. There's no point in even trying. Look at it. It's magnificent. Why am I growing a beard again? How do we get on this shit?
Because you're
you're
you don't-
41.
I can't remember. Yeah.
You guys want to end this, or do you want to?
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Let's do it. Well, let's run down the list so that everybody know where you're at, where they can find you. We'll start with Jeremy as our guest. Go ahead.
Thanks for having me, guys. Had a fun time with some very interesting questions that I had to put some thought into. So, good times hanging out with you. I'm Jeremy B. You can see me every Monday night, depending on how well Beansy's efforts went over last night. But pretty sure it's still every Monday night on ETR.
You did a pretty
In the
good job.
Facebook groups, and I'm around. Not hard to find. Check your DMs.
All right.
That's all I got.
GG Money.
Yeah, find me, Gary Allen, in the Facebook groups, and then hanging out with you guys as best as we can get together these days. So it's nice to see you guys tonight and hang out for a bit.
Everybody's favorite pigment surgeon.
Oh. Yeah, you can check me out on this channel. Pigment Surgery on Instagram and Xbox Live. Tomorrow is a shelf gravy night, I believe.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah,
Here's the thing.
I'll have our post at some point tomorrow. Promo. I don't know what the hell we're doing, but that room is covered in stuff we were supposed to take with us to Legion's Con. So maybe we'll just do a walkthrough. Maybe we'll do that.
Oh, a walkthrough of the home.
Yeah. Of like everything that we've done.
Oh,
All the new stuff.
that would be nice. Kind of like and then we could do auctions.
Yeah. Yeah. Could do some auctions.
No, probably not.
I like auctions.
Options are great.
Options.
Auctions are
It's
better.
good to have options.
Options.
All right.
Hey Dom, where can they find you?
Here Tuesday nights with you guys on the Facebook, Dominic Grasso, and in my backyard, burning my laundry list of bills that I have to get rid of. Bring your marshmallows, guys. Bring your marshmallows.
Dom, can I bring some of mine over to burn at your
Sure,
house?
bring all your. We'll have a
Great.
bill burning party.
Now you're talking.
If you got some
You bring
old-
him his BBTS boxes, and he'll
That's right.
Yeah.
fill 'em up,
bring
Brian,
some
fill 'em
bills.
up. If you
How
got
about
some
you, Brian?
old-
Where can they find you?
At Brinkalizer on Instagram. Yeah, just putting out the charts. It's almost done. Almost done charts for the year. So happy. And yeah, like JD said, tune in tomorrow for Shelf Gravy, and then I'll see everybody again on Monday. Or maybe in a late night hangout if you want to click that link that EE posts in the group from time to time.
Mhm.
Click on it.
Good times are had at that link.
Mhm.
And you can find me here occasionally on Tuesday and occasionally on Instagram too. Energon Addict. And thanks for watching. Thanks for adding to the chat. And I hope to see you guys the next time. I'm done, Brian. You can close that shit.
Thanks.
Shut that shit down.
Good night, guys.
Well,
Thanks, Jeremy B.
ha!
Hey.
Thanks, guys.
Hey, Jeremy, before we go, did you see the pictures that Chan posted about like the table?
The table?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's Wolf's funny until he draws himself with hair, and then I have to take issue with the realism and the authenticity of the effort. But
I just looked over there and he's like drawing Jeremy B sucks. A little word bubble. And I'm like, what the fuck are you doing?
yeah,
It's like I had to. I have to do it.
Yeah, it's like a thing. That's definitely a thing there.
Yeah.
If he doesn't, then it wasn't worth it.
No,
Yeah.
no, that's his only offense, so I'll allow it.
Okay. All right.
All right.
Sorry. I didn't,
Good night.
Okay.
Doodles.
Latest.
Say it with me now. Relax.